Reverend Gibson, do you think we're ready for Q&A, or did you want to say something before we go?
The only thing is, I believe right now we do have just one question in the chat. So if we can answer that one question, and then I think we should go along with the Q&A. And also, as a reminder, we have frequently asked questions. So if you have a moment later today, just take a look at the frequently asked questions that we have set up for you.
I see two questions in the chat, so I'll take Cynthia's question first. Is the community outreach part of the trip investment or an additional amount? The community outreach project is a donation that you will make out of your own free will. We will usually look at any project depending on our time of travel and what project that we've connected with and decided to support. And we make it optional and voluntary for anyone to support in ways that they can. I will give a good example. When we decided to support the Akyem community with the, that was a cafeteria. We asked our tour participants that year, about 40 people, to each donate $200 per person. So we could make that a reality for the school. And everybody donated. We had people who donated more than the 200, and we had people who donated less than the 200. But yes, everyone was very generous. We were able to provide for the school what we promised that we would. So that is a voluntary contribution. The second question that I see in the chat, what is the weather like in October? As I said, it's summer every day in Ghana. However, in October, it is not our super hot month. October is slightly cool. I would say it's usually between 80 degrees and 90 degrees. Sometimes it's as cool as 70 degrees. For example, in 2019, when the group arrived, that's not our spring season. And yet on the first day of the tour, we had the largest downpour. We had a big rain on the first day of the tour. It didn't disrupt any of our activities though, thank God. We were able to wait for the rain to pass and then go straight to do everything else. And we didn't see another drop of rain the entire tour. And that was a beautifully cool day of about maybe 70 degrees. But apart from that, the rest of the tour was anything between 70 and 85 degrees at all times. I see a question about, does the total fee include the flight? Yes, ma'am, it does. The fee includes your visa, your airline ticket, ground transportation, your hotel accommodation, your meals, and then attraction fees for every location that we go. It does not include any meal that you take away from the group. If you choose to go and have your own meal, then it's not inclusive. And it does not include tips. If we go to locations and we want to tip the tour guide because they're phenomenal, we ask people voluntarily to contribute towards that gratuity. But apart from that, everything else is definitely inclusive of the tour package. The flight to Ghana, someone wants to know how long is the flight and are there layovers? We use direct flights to make it convenient. Very often, unless the airlines change their schedule, but very often the flight will leave JFK at about 10 p.m. in the evening, and then about 2:30 in the afternoon the next day you would be in Accra. But mind you, depending on the time of the year, there is a 4 or 5 hour time difference. So the average time of the flight is about 11 hours. Sometimes it's 10 and a half hours. I think one of the directions, I'm not usually sure which direction is shorter, but one direction is about 10 and a half hours and the other direction is 11 hours. No layovers, it's a direct flight.
Angie, before you go on to another question, I would like to also mention that if you would like special flight accommodations, whether you would want business first class or economy plus, you can just let us know, and Angie and our team will be able to work with you in making that happen. I see that there's one hand that has been raised.
Yes, Ms. Carletta, I just cued you to unmute yourself. You can ask your question.
Yep. Hi, this is Corey, Carletta's husband.
Okay.
Good evening. So I had a question. Where Pastor Soaries is the chief, what region or town is that in?
So that is in the kingdom of Akyem Abuakwa. That is in the eastern region of Ghana. And that is one of our largest kingdoms in the whole country. There's over 900 towns and villages in that kingdom alone. Now, he is not a chief of any one town. He was made a chief by the king himself. So the position that he holds, it's called Nkosuorhene. Nkosuor means development and Hene means chief. So Nkosuorhene means the chief of development, and he is chief of development for the whole kingdom of Akyem Abuakwa.
Now, would that be near like Akosombo area? Is that over there?
No. Akosombo is also in the eastern region, but on the other side of the eastern region.
Got it.
So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. We do have more questions in the chat, so I'm going to go on and read. Someone wants to know, can you get anti-malaria shots or is it just pills that you take? Please check with your healthcare provider. Please speak with your doctor. If there are options, they'll definitely let you know. The weather in June and July. So this is the time when we get the most of our rain. Our rains start in May and run through June. So these are actually the coolest months that we have all year round. Today, just so I don't lie to you, I'm going to actually open my weather app and tell you exactly what the temperature is. It's a beautifully cool day for us. And I know that that is actually a hot day somewhere else in the world. It will take a second, but I'll definitely come back. I'm opening that app and I'll tell you what the weather is like today. So I see a question about that. I've already answered that. Okay, I'll keep on going. Oh, I see Mr. Pleasant is in the house today. First Lady Donna Soaries' brother, hello, and thank you for joining us. Miss Lorraine, you wanted to know the airline ticket class. This is coach. The airfare included in your travel is a coach ticket, economy ticket. Reverend Gibson mentioned if you want an upgrade, send us an email, ghana@mydfree.org. Send us an email anytime, ghana@mydfree.org. Let us know that you'd like to upgrade your ticket. We will let our travel agents work it out and we'll tell you the difference and we'll make sure it happens for you anytime. Miss Hazel Bennett wants me to talk about the food and the drinks that are served. Yes, it's a whole variety. So more often than not, we make our meals buffet meals. So you can always get the opportunity to sample the different cuisine. Almost every area that we go has its own staple dish. Like Volta region, it's the Akyem and the okra. And the okra is similar to your gumbo, but it's still very different. We make it with palm oil. When you go to the eastern region, it's the plantains and the yams. When you go to Ashanti region, it's the fufu. When you go to western region, everyone has their own staple. But the buffet also ensures that there's always variety on the table so that everyone has something great to sample. Someone wants to know, they live in Atlanta, will there be arrangements for you? Our tour package airfares are all out of JFK. We can arrange a connecting flight from Atlanta to JFK and back. There will definitely be an added fee. Just send us an email. Let us know if you want us to include that in, and we will work it out for you. No problem at all. But the tour package, as you see it, includes airfare, JFK, Accra, JFK only. Ms. Cynthia wants to know, are there large bugs that we should be concerned with, such as spiders, etc.? No, ma'am. Reverend Gibson, 70 years, did you ever see a spider? No, not at all, nothing at all. And you might probably never even see the mosquitoes because we do advise everyone, bring your bug repellents, bring your mosquito repellents and slather it on if you think you need it, just to make sure you have the added protection. That's also recommended. So no bugs, ma'am. In fact, I have been very worried to visit Texas because someone told me that Texas in the summertime has all these huge bugs. And I am so frightened of bugs. So I'm waiting to maybe go to Texas in the winter time.
Florida does also, but that's year round.
Oh, Reverend Gibson, you shouldn't have told me that. Now I'm not coming to visit you. So someone wants to know how you spell the kingdom that Dr. Soaries is chief of. And I am putting it in the chat. It is the Akyem Abuakwa Kingdom of Ghana. So I just put it in the chat for anyone that needs to know, but then okay, so now I'm going back up to find where okay, do you spell the kingdom? I answered that. What is the name of the region for the July tour? In July, we're going to the Western region, and that's why we named it the Western Adventure. We're going to the Western region in July. Okay, I see my team is in the chat and they're being very helpful. Please send us an email. If you have a personal condition, it might be a health problem, might just be a question you want to ask that you don't want to ask publicly, just email us, ghana@mydfree.org. We're usually good with responding within or less than 24 hours, and we'll get to you. What is the currency that is accepted? Great question, great question. Now, the currency in Ghana is cedi. And so you will use cedi while you're here, but do not go to the trouble of exchanging money before you travel. On arrival, it is built into the itinerary. One of the first things we do is stop to exchange money. And we will make multiple stops during the tour. So you don't even have to exchange all your money and just bring it around every time. You can just exchange as much as you need. Every now and then we'll stop again and let you exchange some more money. You can use your cards here on the ATMs, and Visas, MasterCard, Amex, most credit cards are accepted at most points of sale. However, we still recommend that you use cash because usually it's easy for you to just keep sight of your money, what you're spending. Plus, if you use your cards internationally, there may be fees that apply. So always, if you plan to use your cards locally here, be sure to notify your banks, let them know you're traveling to Ghana. Please specify where you're going and let them know the dates that you'll be in Ghana. And then they'll also advise you what fees or charges will apply. We usually fly Delta Airlines. As I speak now, the plan is to fly Delta. If this changes at any point in time, we will communicate to everyone that is registered to travel. We will not surprise you with any new information. And that is why we host these monthly calls to make sure that you keep up to date. Insurance is not included in this trip, in this tour package. The reason is because in the past, we have found that several people have their own insurance packages, and it wasn't fair to charge everyone a flat rate that includes insurance when they already have insurance. So the tour packages and the fees that we've quoted do not include insurance. Please acquire your own insurance if you want to buy travel insurance. And when you look at our FAQ pages, there may be links that may be helpful, but speak with your own insurance provider as well, or look online for a good service provider and get your own travel insurance. That is not included in your travel cost. Miss Antoinette Adams is here. I didn't realize that, but I see a question from her in the chat. She said, what hotels are we going to be staying in October? Miss Antoinette, when you were here, I think we stayed in the Movenpick, and we'll probably be repeating the Movenpick in October next year. Yes, next year. It's not this year. The tours are next year. But we will also, in October, we're going to the north. So we're going to Zena Lodge. It's one of our most prestigious safari destinations up in the northern region. So we will stay in Zena. And we will also stay in, I believe, the Ridge Royal when we go to Cape Coast. So we have about 8 different hotels that we're using for next year. So depending on which trip that you book, that will determine it. But again, take a look at our website. You will find that we've listed all the hotels that we're using. We have linked their websites to it. You can actually click and view their website. You can look at how the rooms are. Feel free to look around and send us questions if you have any. Crime in Ghana is almost non-existent, but that does not mean it is non-existent. Mind you, the operative word is almost non-existent. But no, I mean, Chloe will tell you some of the days she just went out by herself. She went to the mall, she just took a taxi, you know. And so that's why we do allow people to even have a day to themselves. You don't have to worry about security. I'll tell a story that is half funny, but not that funny, but I feel like it provides some context. And Miss Cynthia, Miss Tina McCaskill, you may have been on that tour, 2017, when we got to Cape Coast. And we arrived at our hotel. We were waiting to get checked in when we heard a big bang outside of the hotel. It was like bang. And several people ducked because they weren't sure what it was. So I got confused and I was asking, why is everybody ducking? What's wrong? Like, we just heard something. It could be a gunshot. Like, no, it's probably a truck that blew a tire on the street. And then one of the orderlies came in. So I asked him, what was that bang outside? It's like, oh, that truck blew a tire. So, you know, my prediction was correct. I've lived, for example, where I live, and this is not even an upscale area. I've lived here 31 years exactly this past March. No crime, zero crime, you know. So it doesn't mean there is no crime, but please go online, read about Ghana, feel at ease. We'll travel in a group. We stay in some of the best hotels. We go to the safest places. We eat the great food with fellowship with village churches and mega churches. It's really a great tour experience and you have nothing to worry about.
Angie, can you mention about the size of the Akyem Abuakwa kingdom that Osagyefo is the king of that region, just to understand the magnitude?
Yes, ma'am.
Of where and how he reigns.
Yes, ma'am. So Ghana was previously divided into 10 regions. So only a couple of years ago, some regions that were so large and administratively, a headache have been sectioned off, and now we have 16 regions. The Eastern region is one of the largest. And in the Eastern region, the largest traditional kingdom is the Akyem Abuakwa Traditional Kingdom, which comprises over 900 smaller towns and villages within the kingdom, population of about 2 million people. Each town and village has its own chief, and the king reigns over all these people. So that is a very large kingdom. In size and population, it is, I believe, the largest in the country, but the Ashantis, of course, are the most prominent and the most well-known. So when we talk about prominence, the Akyem is second in place. However, when we talk about size and landmass and population, it's definitely the kingdom of Akyem Abuakwa. So Dr. Soaries is a very important chief to us in this country. Someone mentioned they don't eat pork. We make sure that all these dietary needs, all of that is taken into account. When you go to buy your ticket, when you go to register, on the registration forms, when we ask you for your special needs, please state on there your dietary restrictions. We even ask for your health conditions, not because we just want to be nosy, but we just want to, be prepared and make sure that we're taking everyone's needs into account. So if you have any special needs at all, please state this on your registration form. And if you forget to state it, just send us an email and let us know. So it's okay if you don't eat pork. It's okay if you have an allergy. Just let us know at the time of registration. When we go to Northern Ghana in October, Ms. Valerie wants to know, what is the transportation? It is a long trip if we try to go by road. It's about a 14-hour drive. So we're going to fly over there in just 1 hour. Believe it or not, it takes an hour to fly and 14 hours to go by road. So yes, when we go, and as you can see, someone may wonder, why is there a difference in cost between October and July are one cost, and also March? It's because both October and July have an element of domestic flight built into that and added expenses that March does not have, because in March, we will not use a domestic flight for any of our tour legs. So in October, when we go to Northern Ghana, we will fly up to Northern Ghana. So yes, someone asked also which hotel we'll be staying at in the June trip. Please take a look at firststeptours.com/D-free. Just click on, just scroll down to itineraries. We have a section with all the hotels in our FAQ. We've hyperlinked all of them. Please take a look at the different hotels. Someone is asking about SIM card for cell phones, another good one. So you can choose to put your phone on roaming, but again, charges will apply. So talk to your network service before you do that. However, the great thing is we have Wi-Fi everywhere we go, including on the bus. So you will be able to use your apps. You'll be able to FaceTime family, anything that is internet-based service, you can use that. And believe me, you will not miss your network service, even if it's not working, because we use a great app. A lot of you may already know it. It's WhatsApp. And WhatsApp allows us to create a group. So if we need to go, or if something has to change while we're on the tour, we just put it in the group. You know, breakfast time, we put it in the group. Pastor wants to have a quick chat with everyone. We put it in the group. Hey, Angie's going swimming. Who wants to come? We put it in the group chat. So we just make it fun and easy for us to communicate while you're here. So it's optional if you want to get a SIM and go roaming. So Miss Agnes is asking about when payments are due. And payments are usually due about the third week of each month. Once you register, the third week of each month, your payment installment is due. We will send you a reminder. Trust me, we won't let you forget. We will remind you, so you can put a little reminder on your phones or on your calendars. And then when the time is up, you can go and make that payment. And also, mind you, you're welcome to make multiple payments at a time. You don't have to stick with our payment plan. We do have the payment plan, though, so that it will be flexible and easy for everyone to just plan and pay towards the trip. So payments are usually due the third week of each month. Reverend Gibson, believe it or not, that is all the questions I have in the chat. And it's exactly 9 o'clock. So I guess we can round up.
9 o'clock your time.
Oh, 9 o'clock my time. I know. I know. So does anyone have any questions? We're happy to add an extra minute or two because we started a few minutes late, and we can take 1 or 2 more questions if anyone has any questions. While we wait, I'm going to share my screen again. And I am going to put up the website just so I can show everyone where everything is. So when you go on the website, it's it is firststeptours.com/dfree, firststeptours.com/dfree. At the top here, these flyers, you can right click and download them and share. So if you want to share, you can right click and download our flyers and share. You're welcome to use them. Our rates are right here for you to see. Remember, you don't have to bring your own roommate. If you have your own roommate, that is great. But if you don't have a roommate, we will pair you up with someone. And that is why we ask some of the questions that we do at registration about age and preferences. It helps us to just identify, the pairing processes. So far, we have had 100% success rate with pairing roommates up. And so we're hoping that will continue into 2022. If you do want a single occupancy room, just note it's an extra $1,000 difference. You can click here to download any of these itineraries, all right? When you click on these, you can download a graphic itinerary that, again, you can share with friends, or you can pin up, and that will help you. But we've put a summary itinerary here for you to see, just so you have a vague idea what we're doing at each trip, what the dates are, how much they cost, and what the payment plans are. Remember, we have only a few months to March. And so for March, we have 6 monthly payments of $750 each. Whereas the other tours, because we have some time. Okay, Miss Alice, go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, I'm so sorry. I missed part of this. I'm at my daughter's post-wedding celebration. So I got signed on a little late. I wanted to ask what are the differences? I see you have the voltage and the different names for each tour. Did you go over that?
We
What's
did
the
go
difference
over that.
between
We did.
those?
Yep, we did go over that. And so when we send the recording, you'll be able to catch that.
Thank you.
But I will give you a quick overview. So I will just ask Miss Alice, just because of the background noise, if you can mute yourself, and then I'll talk about it quickly.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. So just for Miss Alice's sake, I'm just going to remind everyone that in March, we're going to the beautiful river resort at the Volta River in Sogakope. We will have an opportunity to learn how pottery is made by hand, where they get the clay and the meaning of the different pots in Ghanaian culture. We'll get to see live fishermen at work. That's the experience in March. We also get to celebrate Ghana's independence anniversary with all the works, Ghanaian style. And that is our March tour. Okay. Now in July is the Western Adventure. So we're going to the Western region. This time it's not a river resort, it's an oceanfront resort. Beautiful place. My daughter and I sat at the beach just watching fishermen haul in their catch of the day. It was a phenomenal experience, even though I've seen it so many times before. And then this tour is $59.99. The payment plan gives you 10 months because we do have some time ahead of us to make it more flexible. And so you can see that the monthly amounts are less than it was for March. And then there's the October tour. Two major highlights here is the Northern Wildlife Safari and also Dr. Soaries' 5th anniversary as development chief of the Akyem Abuakwa Royal Kingdom. Again, in October, we will have an opportunity, just like in all the other tours, to visit the slave castles and learn about our history as a people, also to meet with a king and be in the presence of royalty and learn so much about culture in one tour that I promise you, you probably wouldn't get that opportunity anywhere else. This tour is also $59.99 for October with a 10-month payment plan just to allow us good enough time to pay, but also enough time for planning with $500 monthly. If you want the single occupancy, this is $1,000 per month. As you can see, registration can also be accessed right here. If you click this link, it will take you to our registration form that you can complete and go ahead and make your payment. By the way, we have several people who have already registered. They're picking their slots and they're filling up fast. So please make up your mind and go reserve your spot. Our FAQ page down here, I think someone is unmuted. If you please mute yourself. Thank you very much. So our FAQ here provides several questions that, again, you may see the hotels right here. What are the hotel accommodations? These are hyperlinked, so you can see every one of the 6 hotels that we are going to use next year. And so many other questions that may have been asked today or may not have been asked today. We have provided answers to those questions on our FAQ page. So many questions that we did not have time to cover, but you can always go and read for yourself. And if you have questions, by all means, please reach out to us. I'll talk about passports and then we will close out because I don't believe anyone has any new questions.
We have a couple questions. One regarding the water and one about a diabetic need. But anyone with any special medication or special health needs, please, we can better serve you offline. So if you can email us at ghana@mydfree.org, we will be able to speak with you concerning that. And Angie, if you can share about the water, please. Thank you.
Absolutely. So we, the locals that live here in Ghana, we drink our own water. It's 100% safe and we have no trouble. Nevertheless, we don't recommend that guests drink the water because you're not used to our water. I travel and I drink water and I get sick just because it's a different water. So we only use bottled water. We have bottled water when we travel available on the bus. The hotels provide you bottled water. There's bottled water everywhere you go and available. So you don't have to worry about drinking water at all. That answers it. And I was going to talk quickly about passports. It is important that you know your passports must be valid for 6 months beyond your date of travel. So for example, if you want to travel in March, your passport has to be valid for 6 months beyond March. It has to be valid up until August or September. I'm trying to do a quick math in my head. If you want to travel in July, your passport must be valid up to December or January of 2023. And if you want to travel in October, your passport must be valid up until March or April of 2023. So please take note of that. Check your passports for expiry dates. If it's going to expire sooner than that, 6 months beyond your preferred travel date, put in an application immediately and get a new passport. Kindly note that because of COVID, there are delays and passports might take longer to issue than they normally would. So please get ahead of it and put in your application as soon as you have decided.
Another question or another item to remember for those who are frequent international travelers, make sure you have enough pages in your passport, because you would need a page for the visa, and then you would need another page for the stamps. So if you may be planning to do any international travel soon, and you will receive additional stamps in your passport, you can extend, you can also notify the passport, and then when you do request your passport, it's free. Ask for the additional pages. I've received a passport with ample pages just because it's available now for free.
Reverend Gibson, I believe someone asked if payments have begun. Payments have begun. Well, registration is open. Remember that registration for the March tour ends this month on the 31st of July. And for the July and October tours, registration closes at the end of next month, August 31st. Monthly payments begin soon after you have registered. So if you're registering in July, remember that in the 3rd week of August, you should start your monthly payments just to make sure that you stay on top of it and that you finish paying in the right time. So yes, payments begin as soon as you have registered.
And
so
time you can pay it off in full. You can double up on payments if God has blessed you above and beyond expectations. You don't have to wait to do the monthly payments.
Ms. Valerie asked that she noticed there are 2 hotels that we've indicated for Accra, and if the group is going to be spread out in different hotels. No, ma'am, but we will use either one of these hotels for any tour depending on the date and depending on hotel availability. And that is why we put a cutoff date to payment so that we can go and lock in our hotels as soon as we're able with the down payments. So no, every group stays together throughout the tour. We don't split the group. We don't spread anyone out in hotels. Ms. Veronica is asking, are kids allowed? Yes, ma'am. Children 13 and over may travel if accompanied by an adult. Children 13 and older may travel with an adult. So yes. I believe that is it. We are 11 minutes over. Reverend Gibson, would you do us the honors and pray us out? Everyone, please remember, email us at ghana@mydfree.org. That's Ghana, GHANA, at mydfree, one word, .org. We will respond to any questions that we weren't able to respond to tonight.
Let us pray. Dear God, we thank you for the many people who are interested in traveling to Ghana, West Africa, and we're trusting God for their continued well-being, for the well-being of their family as they continue planning and asking and seeking you, God, for direction in which tour to take, whether the March, the July, or the October. We're also praying, God, that as Angie and our team plan for receiving everyone next year, that you will be with us, strengthen us, and give us everything, God, that we need to be able to share with those who are interested in going to Ghana. We will be careful, God, to always give your name the praise, the honor, and the glory. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, everyone. Good night. Remember what Pastor said. Share it with everyone. We'll send you the recording and you can share it too. Thank you. Good night and have a great week, everyone.